Peace, peace. All right. Why is this thing not having me up all the way? Let me see. It's not looking like I'm all the way up. Oh, wait a minute. There we go. All right. Peace, peace, and blessings. Hakish Korami, the success scholar, Dr. Hakish Korami, the Honorable One. Hope you all are wonderful. Hope you all are having a lovely day. Lots of amazing things are happening, and so I am ready to make some real moves. If this dog don't shut up, gosh. All right, so I wanted to, just come on. I wanted to, just share, and make some distinctions, for instance, between Dr. Umar Johnson, for instance, and myself. And many people are giving, for instance, their views. And I feel that since I brought him to the Baltimore area in 2011, I felt the need to speak on this. This was a Kwanzaa event that we did, and that was a while ago. But for some history, some years ago, uh, I, probably like 2014 or 2015, somewhere around there. I was talking to a sister that was in Cleveland, Ohio, or something. She has since transitioned in, but she got upset with me because I did not want to, deal with her because she drank beer. I ain't gonna say I didn't want to deal with her, but she thought that I was looking down on her because she drank beer, and I don't know what kind of conscious people, but she was a Umar friend. What was her name? I can't even remember her name, but very attractive person. But she informed me that she would go and sort of hang out with Dr. Umar in different places, as she said. So I don't know what they did. I don't know if they went and drank or whatever, but how I was feeling at that particular time and how I feel now. I mean, if people have one drink every once in a while, I mean, I'm not gonna, but I know what alcohol and beer, for instance, does to our community, and so I'm not gonna, apologize for that. But some people, wanted to take, my successes, and what I found is people are jealous on different levels. You could be doing some of the smallest things in the world, but people will find a way of being jealous because they're not doing it. And that's what I found, for instance, with some people, even in Baltimore. Now, here's the thing, like with Umar. So, um, what you find, first and foremost, there was no way. I mean, and I received an honorary doctorate, and yes, I think that it's well deserved, certainly intellectually. So first and foremost, I read 100 books a year for 11 years on a diverse amount of topics now, and I saw Umar in 2015, I believe, at the ASCA conference, and so he brought the Urugu book from me, and Marimba Ani, and so I know that many people have not read that book throughout, and I know that it's a unique study, and it's only for truly a certain segment of our population that actually can appreciate that depth of understanding and can utilize that depth of understanding. It's a scholarly book I would describe it as. But one thing that I wanted to, a few things that I wanted to add, like, so you won't have me out here wilding out online, and this is what is the dangerous thing, because many people see Umar and Umar type of people, and they just easily comparing and putting people in categories if they don't get who you are and what you are about. And I continue to evolve, I continue to grow on different levels, and I continue to gain wisdom. So who I was 5 years ago, who I was 10 years ago, who I was 20 years ago is certainly not who I am today. Now, with that being said, uh, I've seen the lack of growth, the lack of development in many of these African-centered people, and as Umar continues to, you know, go out of control, I'm reminded, and I'm reminding myself that there's limits to your ego. There's limits to your ascension and what and who you can degrade, if you will, or disrespect. And Umar has been degrading the black community for decades. Many, for instance, have been aggrieved and disrespected by him over these times, and that's one thing I've always said that I can never do. And one thing that I've always thought, I mean, even like there's some things that you just like, all right, that's on point, that's good, but some things are just so destructive that you cannot like overlook. For instance, now I know that it could be challenging, the relationships between a father and a daughter, and a father and the child's mother, but there's no way without a verbal discussion or public shaming, public community shaming, or public community engagement or arbitration, or even if you had to go to the white man's courts, that I would allow for my daughter to be so disconnected, from me, that to the degree that now she's out there just totally wild, and I mean, it's so counter-revolutionary that somewhere along the line he had in his mind that he's going to go out here and teach everybody else and teach everybody else's children, and did not be concerned, for instance, with his own children. And so that's the most damaging thing that I've seen over time. One of the things, and so that's one thing that the difference, how I would would have proceeded, because understanding you can control generally yourself on some levels, you generally control your children on some levels, and yes, there are some dynamics with the quality of your mate, and this is why mate selection and childbearing is a top priority, and you shouldn't just be creating a child, planting your seeds with just anyone, right? Parenting is the ultimate black revolutionary responsibility, right? Because first and foremost, they are the ones who are going to pass along your wisdom. We would hope that they would have that wisdom to apply within the community. So that's one thing. That's one thing I certainly would would distinguish how I distinguish myself. And so there's some political things as well. For instance, there's no way, for instance, that if I'm a Prince of Pan Africanism in 2022, President Joe Biden had a delegation of Africans that came, presidents that came to the DC area. And Umar was nowhere to be seen. Now, why is that like an issue? Why is that like an issue? My thing is, you are an hour and a half, 2 hours away in Philadelphia, Delaware, whatever. Many of the African diplomats, the presidents, and when they bring delegation, sometimes what you have, for instance, when a president from Africa comes to the United States, they are pulling many of their repats, individuals who have left Africa and they are now in the United States. So my idea is, and my idea was, certainly us being in Baltimore, we certainly should be the ones on top of that. Some organization, some institution, some elders need to have that strategic outreach. And we did an event in the DC area, powerful event. And many, even of these elders, even in Baltimore, were like nowhere to be seen. This was what we did. It was a Pan-African, discussion. That's where we met the Kingdom of Kush. And yes, I was present. And sometimes when you are a resource to your community, you are the asset, right? You are indeed the asset. Okay. So that's one thing I thought. Like, if you are the Pan-Africanist, the Prince of Pan-Africanism, even if, I'm not saying you have to meet with the presidents of Africa, but they have their cultural ambassadors, etc. Even some activists who may be in DC to network. Now, the challenge is that Umar doesn't respect other intelligent black men that have a little bit of success going on, that are confident, accomplished on some level, and are well-rounded enough to say, well, look, I may not be as, I guess, popular, for instance, as Umar, but certainly, I have the roundedness, if you will, to be confident to offer some critiques, and there are many critiques to be had. Like, for instance, there's no way that I'm gonna say to a sister, thank you for giving me $10. Next time, make it 20. Next time, make it 20. Telling somebody, next time, make it 20. And then the other end of that, maybe, sometime around the same time, something to the effect that trifling ass black people only gave me $250,000. You give me, wait a minute. What did he say? Hold on. He said, you give me $250,000 and you think that you done? You ain't done. You better give me some more money and some more money. So, here's the thing. Who in the hell are you talking to? Who are you? Who you think you are? And why are black people so have such low self-esteem that they will allow for someone to disrespect them? And this is why, the miseducation of the PhD Negroes allow for black people to just take their word as gospel. We've taken this. What's the term that the sister used? Sociopath, not sociopath, narcissistic disorder. Sister Mello, we did a discussion about narcissistic personality disorder. That's the term. And she got out the the MSN, not the MSN, what is it? The manual of, with DSM-5, and just read, she wasn't saying she sat down with Umar on some levels, but she just observed the behavior, right? And I'm just gonna, just articulate some key points. And I was sort of done then. Now, not just the disrespect, talking about you better give me some more money or some more money. Like, that's not how you ask people for money. That's not how you ask your community for support. Like, you might as well tell them, you might as well said, y'all ain't leaving here, shut the door, y'all ain't leaving here until y'all give me everything you have. So this is very degrading, and this one of the recent degrading things, and this is why I said, no, I'm not, and many of us are not like Umar. Now, the only reason he got like this is because many of the so-called African-centered scholars, they think that they're talking about people. They don't want to talk about people. Well, sometimes you have to critique certain things because there's a lot of unlearned people out here, but not many now, because it's people have totally, I believe, have become awakened to the reality of the disrespect shown, but also that the business folly of that this school goal is not feasible, it's not practical, it's not built upon reality. And, there should have been people like Mwalimu Barudi, there should have been people like Marcus Klein, the CB school individuals, all the CB, the African Centered Independent Schools now, and, even Ujamaa now. I love Nation House in Ujamaa in D.C. I am perhaps one of the only ones in the Baltimore area that have supported them at a particular time. Not like a whole lot, but strategically over the years. And, and I just don't see anybody from Baltimore, doing things like that on that level. And so that's why, in some states, D.C. to Baltimore, like, that's like a drive down the road. So, but, Baltimore, D.C., we have these different little cultural kind of cliquish thing, almost like New York. New York folks, they don't go out of New York literally for nothing. Like, they don't go out, some of them don't go out of their boroughs if they don't have to. They think the world evolves around them, and they not going. They think that they have the knowledge or whatever. So, but yeah, and I know Ujamaa actually co-signed him and had him as the speaker, and I wondered what was up with that, but I just have to realize not everybody is as well versed, on the pros and cons of an individual for say of an Umar versus like myself. Now, here's the thing. One thing that I've done and willing to do, and have been willing to do, is to, connect with and build with other brothers and sisters. This is why, you will learn that your idea is a fairy tale. If you go to places like a CB conference, or even, for instance, a power networking conference, or you go to some real estate conferences. I even went to a conference, a weekend thing about buying hotels. So it was, some commercial property types of discussions going on. And you will know, or should have known, that this is a tremendous undertaking that is significant in cost. And if people, and I even heard Mark Lamar Hill, and I called him out. He said something about, well, it is a school. I've been there. No, Dr. Hill, it's a building. It's an empty building just sitting in an area that honestly need like a fence around it. And that's one of the sisters that's actually from there said that area, needed to be protected from the community and all the riffraff that's surrounding it. And even, for instance, the people that just recently broke in it or whatever, and looked like it was like disheveled. People threw some stuff around and paint and destroyed $5,000 worth of his books, 5,000 books or something, he said. I'm like, so wait a minute. That's the only place you have to secure your books, and you don't have like no security cameras, like where you can like look after your valuables. That's a problem. Like somewhere along the line, when you have valuable books, you have to protect them. And so that's the difference between me. I'm not, I'm gonna strive to protect the books that we have. Whether if you get a little bit of money, just like what Doc Ben did, he gave his books to the nation. Some people question that, but that somewhere along the line they have the institutional power and appreciation. He could have gave it to a black church that, if they appreciate it and have some money. I don't know. It's like, who do you give, like black books to like that? So that's one thing. I would have, certainly protected the books that they have. So it's just so much that I could say. I just wanted to, distinguish, because people are trying to put people in different boxes. They see you showing up at different events, and I wanted to be clear, for instance, to the, Baltimore, even the Pan-Africanist community, because many of you will see people and they say, yeah, he think he all of that. He think he all of that. Well, not in your context. Not in your context. I am all that in different ways, and I manifest those all of that in a very unique and special way. But and let me just clarify that as well. Another thing, that I do, and certainly I could find time to sit and talk on YouTube and pontificate and put out good sounding theories that's not based on reality. Umar doesn't show up in political spaces, not locally, not statewide in Pennsylvania, not for the Congressional Black Caucus, not the United Nations, not the African Union. Like, you just going off of your own ideas. You don't sit with a round table of scholars and say, let me just listen to what y'all have to say. what do y'all think about A, B, and C? This is why they have peer review, before you can be published on different levels. You have to be peer reviews for certain journals. Like, this is why, you don't see Umar in certain journals. Like, I don't know, the ASCAC, there's different ones. I got one that just got about childhood. Like, I don't see, you don't reach out to any of these people. This is how you build your loyal allies. Like, not just YouTube people. Because YouTube people haven't gone through a rigorous, detailed study. They haven't shown up at and listened to different scholars over the years. They're just YouTube. They're not reading books. And many aren't looking at the damage that you're doing versus, and I'll give you this example. There was this brother, and this is one of my points, and he said that I was jealous. He said that I was jealous, and this is somebody that many of you all look up to. Many of the so-called six diaspora individuals out here in Baltimore, and that's why I was like, you know what? I'm sort of done with that. I'm done with y'all. Y'all ain't moving forward. Y'all can't even think right. If y'all don't even know that Umar needs to be called out about some of these things, and then you got a clown, a clout chaser that comes on my post and say that I'm jealous of Umar. I'm like, man, you ignorant. I'm like, so now I just got to diss all of you joker Pan-Africanists. Because, I'm just making it happen. For real. I'm just showing up and, building and ensuring that I'm sustainable. I'm not begging for money. I appreciate it. So hit the Cash App, hit the Cash App. Maybe I need to learn that from Umar just to get the ignorant people just give me money so I won't have to work. I guess, I don't know. Just don't have to do nothing. Just come on YouTube and say, give me some Cash App money. Give me Cash App. Hit my Cash App. And then say a little, quote Frederick Douglass, who you not a descendant of, says the family. And yes, I was just with the Frederick Douglass family. As many of you know, you can look it up. You can look it up, go to Westmore's website. And so I'm simply saying that I had to do this because some of you lack well-roundedness. And I feel that I have to, and I ain't going to call out this brother's name, but he's not very bright. He's not very bright. He's falling off. Something is going on. He's not very bright, and I'm not falling off with you. I'll let you all go first before I waste my time with you anymore. You're falling off, and you're not very bright. And now, instead of me taking you sort of with me, I have to sort of come online, create my own events, organize my own, strategies and platforms, and to make things happen, right? And so, fortunately for me, I know where to go, how to meet people, and how to disconnect from, some of those that haven't, that aren't winning, that aren't going to win in life. And unfortunately, there are many elders that are going to be casualties of this, and many, organizations that are holding the people back, many individuals holding the people back by not exposing them. And that's what I'm saying. I'm just like, man, the work done. And I just posted something. Oh, let me just add this. I just posted something about the Diaspora Day on the Hill. And that's coming up next September 16th. I will already be over there for another event that's happening in the evening. So hope to get there early. And then the next day I'm going up to New York, so I'm gonna have to figure how I'm gonna do all of that. So maybe stay like halfway up in Philly, somewhere past coming to Jersey or something, and then get up in the morning and make it to this other conference. But we have to be able to raise up, and even if we aren't able to intellectually, you know, be confident in our own achievements, we have to stand up as dignified men, right? And so that's what this is. That's what this is. This is distinguishing, the movement, the true movement, the real work versus YouTube and the YouTubians. Because that's basically what Umar is. And this is why you will not see him, for instance, even at Invest Festing. I know they, kind of perpetrators and, sort of hyping and trying to be European with, buying these European fashions, et cetera, trying to look like they just got out of the lifestyles of the rich and famous and, all that. And I do recognize that sometimes you have to create like a certain image in order to make money, but that, perpetrating like you flexing and flaunting, that don't free the people that need to get freed. So, but I'm happy now. We had a good meeting yesterday, and for those that are around, on Friday, I'll be interviewing Sister Christy Thornton, future Dr. Christy Thornton, on 1010 AM WOLB, and I'm waiting to hear back, possibly from the Sister Chanel Compton, possibly to the 1010 WOLB radio. I'll be there on there at 11 a.m. So progress is being made. I'm just trying to see if she's confirmed yet, but progress is being made on every level, y'all. So just stay connected. Do like, share, and subscribe to the Success Scholar, and we have to continue to move forward. One more thing. I don't know how much time I said I was going to do here for this, but when you continue to allow for these individuals who, have manipulated our community, you are a co-conspirator. You are a co-conspirator in the madness. And so I just wanted to say that for those who know better and want to do better, do stay connected to me, because many of these individuals don't have the unique awareness and knowledge and depth of understanding to be able to just do practical things. Like, there's a lot of theory, and I'll give an example. For instance, and shout out, I was yesterday after there's a meeting in Annapolis. I met Senator Shirley Nathan Pulliam was there, and you don't see Umar like kind of showing up in places like this, and it's embarrassing, and I think it keeps people dumb, because you have to lead by example, and you're not going to always be the HNIC. You're not going to always be the one speaking. He gives events that he's the only one speaking. Like, you don't know nobody that you feel are talented and a good intellectual that you can create a platform for. It's only you. So we have to watch out for these people that can't share. Like little kids, they don't want to share anything with nobody. They don't think nobody has any knowledge or any depth. And I told you, I read 100 books a year for 11 years. Many true scholars, the Amos Wilsons, Jawanza Kunjufus, the Claude Andersons, the Naeem Akbars, Hakeem Edebudi, like when you read 100 books a year for 11 years, you get like mature. You get true maturity, and you know that. I mean, I just think about it like, I mean, I didn't hear this. Like, don't embarrass your family, and I don't know. It might not be embarrassing to some people, family, but you know, the SETI thing, that was like embarrassing. Yelling, cussing people out, threatening to pull up on people. You're a principal. Who wants their children in and around somebody that's online talking about pulling up on somebody? No one. Like, be what you are. Like, if you are a nerd, scholar, goofy, you know, scholar, like, be that, but don't pretend like you want to be a thug. And for some time, he has perpetrated and acted like a thug. Yeah, talking about pulling up on people. We gonna pull up on this person's ASS. We gonna pull up. We gonna pull up. We coming for you. Like, who want their children involved? See, because there's a lot of crazies out here. You can act crazy, but you have a PhD, so you couldn't have been that crazy, like, truly, because you had to sit and study and be in a classroom. People had to observe you, and so you had some sense at once upon a time in your life, enough sense to have people putting their name to validate you. But then the YouTube and the cameras and the attention gave you and made you into this like Hulk Hogan-ish fake figure, right? So now that's where what you've turned into, a damn online King Kong Hulk Hogan wannabe, like WWE, beefing with people, cussing out women. That's another thing. You'll never catch me online talking about someone sucking and what they smell like. Like, that was the most craziest thing that I've ever seen. And then you still online. You still talking crazy online. So I'm just like, as long as you're talking crazy online, every once in a while I'm gonna come on and blast you, and I'm gonna blast the perpetrating Pan-Africanists that haven't said anything about you. I mean, for years and years. I mean, from Baltimore to DC, all of them, man. I don't, like, they have totally fallen off and lost a lot of my respect, and they're not growing. And this is why I had to take advantage of different opportunities that are not in these so-called Pan-African spaces, because these people, they're not trying to win. They're not trying to win, or they just don't know how. And unfortunately, many of them are too old, and they haven't made an adjustment. So all it is a Pan-African theater, right? They're not doing anything practical, and they're not even not even conscious enough to listen to people that are doing practical things. And this is why I'm reinventing the game. And for those that want to win, they're going to be, connecting to me, right? Because I'm stable enough emotionally, and I have the library, so I can feed them the Baruti books, the Dr. Marimba books, if that's what people want to be, right? If they want to be deep African-centered people. But listen, you can't spend all your time around these people that's not growing, y'all. That's not growing. You can read and be knowledgeable, but know who needs to hear all this deep talk. And that's what I'm saying. Most people don't need all of what you're saying. They need some stability. They need some sanity. Yes, they need to know who they are, but they need food, clothing, and shelter. as well. And so this is why, I'm making progress on different levels. And shout out to all the supporters. Definitely do like, share, and subscribe. Progress is being made on every level. I'm gonna do some more videos over the next few weeks, next few months. Big weekend coming up. Be down in Laurel and Bowie for some amazing events. Just building allies, strategic allies. So stay connected to the success. Oh, I'm sorry. I'm sorry. I'm just talking and I'm muted. But he said, put your books in storage. And then he said, what the goofball says, he's a common period for stuff. Yeah. He needs a psychologist. Yeah, I don't. Yeah, I mean, I just. I mean, for this guy who some of you, respects, I'm just gonna keep harping on it because he's lurking around and y'all giving him platforms or whatever. Not Umar, but some clowns do give him platforms. But my challenge is for the clowns that are defending him. That's who I'm basically speaking to with this, suggesting that no, I'm not like him. Like for those that say I'm jealous of him or something to that effect. Like, man, that's crazy. So I'm like, but that's where the haterism comes in. And so you have some, certainly in Baltimore, jealous Pan Africanists that they don't want to work with nobody. They just want to try to stop you, right? And so that's what we have. We have some that just want to stop me. That's what their goal is. But fortunately for me, I don't need too many of you, like for real. And fortunately, there's enough people that show me love, right? And that's the beautiful thing when you have such a decent work history and resume, and you serving the people the right way. I've sold hundreds of books to people, uh, showing up and contributing in many different ways. Many people are, continue to be inspired to, make real true power moves. So, got some amazing things coming up, y'all. Stay connected. Do subscribe to wherever Raising Conscience and Capital page on YouTube. So that's one of the places that I'm at. So definitely, y'all, we are moving forward and continue to elevate. Damn, that's 45 minutes, y'all. I ain't mean to be that long. Peace and blessings. Have a good one.